Welcome, Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights, here with another panel of cards from my card wall that I set up maybe 7 years ago now. And I've always had a soft spot for South Africa and Gerrie Coetzee. I'm not sure he's Afrikaner or what, but he was a South African heavyweight, and I watched him fight, and I wanted to have some boxing cards up there, and I thought he'd be an interesting guy to put on there. So I don't know, Harry, if you're going to make it for the duration, but for now, you're up there, and had a great career. Rocky Colavito was a huge deal back when I was a kid, and you'll notice this card is autographed and reasonably worn. The autograph grade is a 7. The card itself might be a 3 or something like that. The interesting thing, though, when you flip it over, is you can see that it's double autographed, and this is what was done in my neighborhood. Just underneath the number of the card number is TE, the initials, and that's the kind of subtle, and it's in pen, so you can't really erase it without messing up the card, but that was pretty common in my neighborhood. Again, I was more in the 59, 60, 61 era of the most cards when we were trading, and it would be a way that if you were over at some kid's house and your cards got commingled, you'd be able to pull your cards out. So Rocky, that's a nice card. And like I said, Rocky was a big deal in the late 50s, early 60s, and a great player, great arm, a lot of power, a lot of charisma. This card probably be replaced. It's Doug Collins. I don't want to do announcer cards when the guy has a playing career. He had a good playing career, and so I need to switch it out for that. But the announcer card is probably one of his toughest cards. So. And they generally are. So thanks, Doug. Again, thanks, sponsors. Got a bunch of them. You know the drill. Burbank, Mike Stadium Sports Cards, Heritage Auctions, Douglas Scott Auctions, the card companies, and Comiskey. Eddie Collins, another big surprise, maybe not to those of you who've followed some of the podcasts, is I think this was my dad's card. I can't prove it, but it looks like it was the kind of shape that my dad's Goudies were, well handled, but lovingly handled by my dad. And so I think this is one of the cards that was my dad's, and because I got a box of Goudies and other stuff in there for my dad. And Eddie Collins is certainly a Hall of Famer, and I think he'll be there again if even the chance that it was one of my dad's. I think that keeps it on there. Another Bazooka, 63 Bazooka, Jimmy Collins. Again, even though this is the silver version, it's just not. I just think he's probably not gonna make it. There's just not enough. Nobody's coming up and saying, "Hey, I didn't see the Jimmy Collins." Carrie Collins, admire his longevity, and again, I just had a bunch of these superior picks autographs, but Carrie, I think you're not going to be on the next iteration of the wall. Ray Collins. Several connections here. Dallas Texans, which became the Kansas City Chiefs, and I actually helped his daughter with her nonprofit back, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12, 15 years ago. And so she asked me if her dad had any cards, and I said, yes, he does. And this is a particularly tough card. So it checks several boxes: personal connection, local connection, and a tough card. Same thing with this one. Pat Combs, personal friend of mine, went to Baylor. I didn't know him there, but he's younger than me. But in fact, he looks the same now as he did in that picture. But this is his pre-rookie card. And, like I said, I consider him a friend. And there are other of my friends that know him, and they'll get a kick out of seeing him on the wall. And then lastly, Charles Comiskey. There's lots of stories about Charles Comiskey, mostly about his ownership days, but I've actually got a card from his playing career, and I don't know that it's too valuable. It might not go on the wall for two reasons, and as I'm trying to explain some of these decisions that I make. Number one, that card is not this one, but the card that I might replace it with has two reasons to not put it on the wall. One is it's a lot more valuable. It's really pretty valuable. It's like 19th century. But also, it's, I think, very sensitive to light. It's like one of the old judge type things where if you put it any kind of light, you could really mess it up. And so right now it's at the bank. It's sitting in a with no light, so nothing bad can happen to it. But just some of my thinking for how I can do that. So my desire to show an exotic card of Charles Comiskey is outweighed by the fact that it's might not be secure in several different ways. So thanks everybody. That's panel 16. I'm going to keep going, kind of space it out and do a few at a time, and release them to you, and give me feedback if you are thinking I'm missing somebody or have some better ideas. So thanks everybody. Be back again tomorrow.